Okay, now we're going to clean the metal. Once you take the metal out of the pickle pot, you'll see it's cleaner and softer, but it's still a little grody looking. So I like to give it a good scrub before I texture or fabricate or solder, because the thing I'm going to stress in this DVD over and over and over again is clean metal is your friend. You're going to get good texture on clean metal. You're going to get good patina on clean metal. If you solder, you're going to get good solder joints on clean metal. You can never be too clean with your metal. Even though your hands are black, your metal should be perfect. So I'm going to throw these in some water and show you how I scrub my metal. Not everybody does it this way. Some people go straight from the pickle pot, give it a rinse, and keep going. I like to keep it really clean. Two things I use are cleanser and dish liquid. I've got a plastic brush if I had big chunks of oxide still on here, I would use the plastic brush. This is just a nail brush for your toenails or fingernails, and a brass brush. You don't want to go to the hardware store and get what they call a brass brush. Those are really steel and they will destroy your metal. Go to a jewelry supply house and get a soft brass brush. This, you can see I can move these bristles and they're made of metal. This gives you a nice satin finish and it doesn't create big, deep scratches in your surface. I like the ones with the wooden handles because they float. You can get them with plastic handles too. I just don't like the bristles on those. These are better. Another thing we use is plain old Scotch-Brite pads from the supermarket. I cut them in half or quarters with regular scissors. They're a great thing for cleaning metal. And rags. So I've got this piece of annealed copper. You can see it's got a little bit of a warp to it. We'll straighten that out after we clean it. I start with the dish liquid and just a few drops on there. This acts as a lubricant between the brass bristles and the metal. And I'll just start to gently scrub back and forth. And you can see it's really taking off a lot of dirt that you wouldn't think was there. Another thing that's good to do to help flatten the metal is put it down in the bottom of the sink and scrub back and forth, but only do that if you have a sink you can trash, because the brass bristles will scratch your porcelain sink. So just use your studio sink for this, not your brand new beautiful Korean kitchen sink. But you can see I'm getting a nice shine on this. This is good to do even when you get brand new metal from the supply house, because here's a piece of copper that I've been working with. You can see there's fingerprints all over it. Oil is on this, because when they run it through the big mill, they put oil on the rollers to help the metal move through. So see how the water is beating up on that? This is a greasy, oily, dirty piece of metal, even though it's brand new. So always clean your metal before you use it. So this I'm getting cleaner and cleaner. A lot of the oxides are coming out and the surface oils are coming off. Use the water to see if there's grease. I can see by that little ball there's a greasy spot there. So how I get rid of that is with the cleanser. And just sprinkle a little bit of that on there. Same, I use the brass brush. And this will abrade the grease off. If it's a really stubborn greasy metal, you can use denatured alcohol to take the grease off. And you can get that in the paint aisle at Home Depot or Lowe's, any of the big super box home improvement stores. Even your neighborhood hardware store should have denatured alcohol. Now this piece of metal is getting nice and clean. You can see the water's starting to sheet off of it instead of bead up. That's pretty clean, but to be really sure, I'll use the Scotch-Brite on it.